Hi vinyl community, John here. I just wanted to put in my 10 cents worth addressing the question that Robert Z has asked. Is enough ever enough? It's an interesting question, and I guess something that we all at some stage ask ourselves in regard to our collecting of music and particularly vinyl, I guess in this case. And I put quite a lot of thought into this, and it is a worrisome thing to think that you may accumulate so much that you can possibly consume it in view of how much time you may have left to consume it. I think what you can do is you can break things down a little bit. If you look at your record collection and break it down into chunks. One chunk of that collection will be music that you've perhaps known and had since your childhood, that you maybe have kept and that you know intimately. You've listened to it for so long and you just keep it for prosperity, I guess. I mean, I've got a lot of David Bowie records. I don't listen to David Bowie very much these days because I listened to him for so much when I was a teenager, in my early 20s, I guess. Same with Hendrix, same with T-Rex, same with Pink Floyd. Try not to do it with Led Zeppelin because I want to preserve that, but yeah, Led Zeppelin, I know them pretty well. Deep Purple, all of the kind of the staple artists, if you like, that you perhaps went to first. And if you put all these together that you know, that you keep just out of prosperity, then what you have left out of your collection is perhaps considerably smaller, considerably less. And in that lot you see, well, these are the ones that I'm going to consume between now and when I kick the bucket. So that's one way of looking at it. And then you've also perhaps, at least I do anyway, I have records that I keep for reference. And they're not ones that I'm really going to spend a lot of time on. I was about to say waste time on, but some. Here's a good one. I pulled this one out today, and I thought about your video when I pulled this out. I was putting a record away. This was what I was putting away. Something I recently acquired. This is Lulu, and she's a Scottish singer, artist from the 60s. I was putting away, and she falls alphabetically after this guy. I can't even say his name. Lukather, Steve Lukather. And I pulled this out and I thought, I've had this for years, God knows how long, and I keep a database of most of my music, and I started making my database around about the turn of the last century, so 2000 I think I started, and this is in there, but I acquired it before I started making that database, so it doesn't even have an address, a date of when I acquired it. But it would have been around about 1998, 99, maybe 97, and I haven't listened to it once since then, but it's sat amongst my records in my collection in the grouping of L, and I think, well, why do I keep it? I don't even know who this guy is. So I just a short while ago I checked him out. Who is this guy? Who is he? Turns out he was a guitarist or something to do with Toto. Now, I don't even like Toto. Somebody once gave me almost the entire Toto collection. I had it at home, liked the covers. I really don't like the music, and there's nothing that I'm going to keep, so I didn't. I ended up just giving it away. I think I gave it to charity or something like that. I can't remember. So why on earth would I keep this? And then I read a little bit further. People say he plays or is influenced or inspired by Jimi Hendrix and Jimmy Page. And then straight away I thought, oh, that's why I keep it. Reference. I may want to go and listen to that sometime. Someone may talk about him in that essence. I want to just go to my shelves. Have I got anything by him? Oh yeah, this one. Pull it out. Does it sound like Hendrix? Just a little bit. Hear any Jimmy Page in there? Possibly. So I mean, yeah, I'm sure most people have got records like that they keep for reference. They're not necessarily going to kind of consume them wholeheartedly, but they will turn to them just to check something out. And if you think about that, yeah, maybe you've got a whole stack of those in your collection too that you keep purely for that reason. One other thing I was going to say about the whole collecting thing as well, and if you have ever heard of a man called Pete Waterman, now, he was part of the Stock Aitken and Waterman group, like the record producers. They produced a lot of 80s pop music. I was about to say nasty pop music, but I guess some people like it. It's not really my thing. And it was very Kylie Minogue, that kind of stuff, you know. He's worked with a lot of stars, a lot of people, written lots of music for various different people. Has a shed load of money, and he collects trains. And I'm not talking about model trains, you know, the little Hornby railway sets, although he collects those too. But he collects like locomotives. He owns, or has owned, the Flying Scotsman, one of the world's most famous trains before. And he doesn't just have one or two trains, he's got lots of trains. He's probably got, I don't know how many miles of his own private track, I'm sure, to run these trains on. Now, you think, why does he do that? Why does he collect trains? I don't think he does it to get from A to B. He's not collecting trains because he thinks it's going to get him to the next city quicker or anything like that. I think he's just collecting them purely for the joy of the restoration, purely for the interest in that, you know, train culture. Hey, maybe there's a YouTube community called I don't know, train community or something like that. I don't know, on YouTube. Maybe they make videos and show off their trains. What do I know? But, you know, with that in mind, he's not collecting trains for any sort of he's not trying to I'm rambling a bit now. It's not a means to an end. He's not collecting trains to transport things. He's doing it as the activity in itself. And I think that's really perhaps mostly why we collect records. We like the music, of course we do, otherwise why would we do it? But it's also, we like the activity of the collecting, we like the thrill of the chase, we like, at least I like to get something a little bit old and restore it, clean it up, take that masking tape off the cover, to see if I can't sort of improve it and, you know, learn some clever tricks on making it look a little bit better than what it did when I acquired it. That kind of stuff. There's also the, you know, the thought of having something which is historically important. You know, it's there. I've got punk records falling to pieces. You know, graffiti written all over them, so on and so forth. But for me, that's the joy of owning those things. And I pick them up for, you know, a couple of dollars here and there on a good day. A reissue of those records just wouldn't have the same feeling for me, because they weren't there. They don't smell of patchouli oil. They don't smell of the time where they've come from. They weren't there. They're almost sterile. That's my view. I appreciate it's not everybody's view, but that's my view. So yeah, I'm rambling now, just like everybody else. Well, that's my contribution to the thread. Sure, I've got records which I'm probably never really going to get to, but I keep them just as a reference. There's also this thing as well, you know. If you're going to be around for the next 10, 20, 30 years, that's a long time. And maybe what you can do is you can cull your record collection down a little bit, just cut out the chaff and see what's left and enjoy that. It's also good to take, you know, step out for a while, stop collecting. You know, spend 6 months, don't buy a single thing, and enjoy listening to what you've collected. Because I'm sure there'll come a day when you've got more time on your hands than you know what to do with. And in that sense, it would be worth having shelves of records that you just want to kind of get your teeth into and get stuck into. Alright, Robert and VC, thank you very much. Have a good day. day. Look out for my next video. Bye.